Hey, welcome to the Couch Classics.
Hey guys,
Sticks here.
Raytoon.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween for you. It's November 1st for me.
That's right. It's day late. So we're trying to get these episodes together, but we're actually dealing with a 16-hour difference. So both me and my brother are working, plus we have 16-hour difference between our time zones. So we're trying to find time to fit it in and get things together, but it's awesome. It's totally worth it. We're enjoying it so far. Hope you guys are too. So we're going to talk about just kind of Halloween memories in general tonight. We're also going to do one of our personal favorite movies from when we were kids that represents to us the transition between Halloween and Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's right.
Tim Burton. So we're going to start with that.
Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas was like, well, for me it was always more of a Christmas movie because it was in like our Christmas holiday box on VHS.
Mom kept it hidden away in the Christmas box. She wouldn't let us watch it hardly at all.
Jesus doesn't like Halloween.
I remember though, like one year we got into the Christmas stuff, like we had found it. She had it stashed. I think she kept it all underneath the stairs or something. And one year we had gotten into it early and just pulled out a couple of movies. Freaked her out because of the Christmas songs. But,
yeah.
It's okay.
Her and our sister have always had a problem with Christmas music. They like to have Christmas music as close to the blessed day of Christmas as possible.
Right, like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's a good time for Christmas music.
Pack it all up and close the doors before dinner time at Christmas Day.
Yeah. Whereas me and you have always been more of a Christmas season kind of thing.
Yeah, and for me the season of Christmas starts November the 1st. And ends
sometime in March.
usually right after the end of February, sometime in that first week.
It's more of a season rather than a day, you know.
If you break the year into 3 chunks, Christmas is the larger of those 3.
Right, exactly. But anyways, Halloween. We're supposed to be talking about Halloween.
That's another episode entirely. So anyway, Halloween was exciting for a couple of reasons. One, it was almost Christmas.
That's
right. Plus free candy, you can't go wrong with a bunch of free candy.
That's right.
We never really got into it heavy. Like I remember. We'd dress up and stuff.
Yeah.
But...
And they'd take us around to a few neighborhoods. But Dad always liked Christmas more, and so that was always the biggest thing. Dad's always...
Well, it's easier to do Christmas because, like, almost every business will close for Christmas. At least they did when we were kids. I don't know. Things change over the years. But for the most part, Christmas time, Dad had Christmas off. He'd usually get a couple days, usually a long weekend. So for him, he could actually relax.
Yeah.
And, like, I recognize the same thing now. I'm working all the time, and you don't get Halloween off. So Halloween is Monday. Like, what do? I get home, eat, and maybe a couple kids will stop by the house. I'm going to record this show.
Yeah.
But that's Halloween, So I understand where he was coming from with that. Plus, I looked into it, and basically it's just a commercial holiday.
Right.
It really started picking up through the 30s and into the 40s. It was starting to pick up where you actually had the Halloween traditions where you had kids dressing up and then going from house to house looking for snacks. So it really is a relatively new thing, and it is purely for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, sell all these cheesy costumes to kids and get them outside running around eating a whole bunch of candy.
Yeah, they kind of had to stick something in between, like, the 4th of July and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun because there's lots of good movies to watch, lots of candy comes on sale. Like starting today is, for me, is that's when you need to go out and buy up a bunch of candy.
Whatever's left over, you can grab it for cheap.
Yeah, exactly, because they're already going to be throwing out Christmas stuff. I mean, there's already Christmas stuff going out, but...
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, they started...
Halloween here is not really that big. They have some stuff at any, like, stores that are associated with America, Some of the stores in the mall have some cool Christmas stuff out, Christmas trees and different decorations and things like that, but... Halloween
so much
stuff It's just not as big. Which why would it be?
And it makes sense.
But
Like I said, it's mostly just a commercial holiday. So
yeah, it's cool though because all the teachers, all the single teachers, there was volunteers that let all the teachers with families go around with their kids in costumes and do a traditional kind of Halloween-y kind of thing. That was pretty good. So we got in like an hour and a half of trick or treating. It's just more than enough with the 3-year-old. Cool. So, I just was thinking last night about how much whenever I'm sure it's the same for a lot of families, but whenever you get home after Halloween, you have all your candy and stuff like that. Everyone dumps their candy in the middle of the floor so mom and dad can go through and find all the poison stuff.
Yeah, right.
And I never, I just, at the time I thought, man, I can't believe how many poison candies there are out there. And now I realize that I have my own kid that's trick-or-treating. Is like, there's a lot of poison candy in there that he just can't eat.
He just can't have, nope.
But the best part about him is he can't have chocolate or anything like that because he's allergic to milk.
That helps you out.
It's like half the stuff. It's like, you're allergic to this, you're allergic to this, you're allergic to this.
So for him, there's actually poison candy at least.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be easier. But I'm seeing the money bags all the way up through his teen years of him collecting candies.
Right.
So basically, it ended up being us buying candies that he could eat and then slipping them in to his bag. So when he gets home, he's like, "Whoa! I can't believe I got so many of this one candy."
It's not going to work for much longer. Kid's too smart for that.
Yeah.
The poison candy thing, I would have to do some research, but honestly, I don't think there's more than maybe a handful of occasions that has ever actually happened. I remember, like, through the 80s, a couple of TV shows, like, I don't remember, maybe Columbo or something like that, had some mystery shows where, somebody was poisoning candy and that kind of spread like wildfire, and all the parents were like, oh, no, you gotta, check this stuff out. And, like, honestly, the only time that I think my parents, I don't know, mom maybe threw away a couple of things, but...
Stuff that looked like it had been unwrapped.
Like caramel apples or something that looked like it might have been made in Mexico, Yeah. Well, something that looked questionable, and it was probably fine.
There's a few basic rules to stick to in all points in life, but never accept baked goods from a stranger.
Yeah, she looked like a nice old lady, but read the stories and all the fairy tales. It's always a nice old lady that's baking poisoned goods. So.
Fingers or parts of
as
children.
As a rule of thumb.
Never accept baked goods. And that holds true in all aspects of your life. Don't accept baked goods from strangers. And another one was don't accept any produce from strangers. Because I think there was a thing about, like, maybe like razor blades or something like that and caramel apples or something ridiculous.
Yeah, something. And I'm almost absolutely sure that it's just some kind of myth that started, stupid urban legends that get spread around, and none of it's real. So
yeah,
but whatever, with your kids, you got to be careful.
Our mom could have made up half of that stuff. I don't know.
She ate at least half of our candy. Yeah, she still
eats more candy than anyone I know.
But the candy thing was always big, and it changed. Like, things are a lot different now, but it changed when we were growing up. Like, when we first started doing it, like, you probably don't remember this much because you were pretty young, but in Idaho, we would just go around the neighborhood to people's houses, and that was completely normal, a bunch of kids running around in the middle of the night and stuff.
If there's a porch light on, you just go...
Just run up there.
Door,
The parents would be there, but, it was like a handful of parents, and they're talking to each other and just kind of hung out at
They kind of stay out at the street.
Out on the street, and it was no big deal. And nowadays, like when we were growing up, they started pushing it where they had opened up the malls.
And that was supposed to be safer.
And start doing that. And that helped a lot, for us, it helped a lot because we were kind of living in a rural area, so there weren't a lot of houses to go to. So for us, that was big, just get up with a bunch of kids and go hit all the stores and stuff like that. Another thing they're doing now because of social media is they get huge groups of people together and go all at once.
Yeah.
And
that way.
All the people, they're all connected on Facebook, so they know, we've got this huge group of people are going to be coming through from this time to this time, and it's more convenient for them to work around those hours or whatever to be ready for them. And there's a whole lot more things like the churches and stuff like that are doing trunk or treat, where you just go to the church parking lot and everyone has a pile of candy in their trunk and you just kind of hang out. So you have these smaller communities that are all sticking together. So you still get the kids get to run around and have fun, but the parents feel a lot safer that way. They know everyone involved and.
Because this day and age, you'll just straight up get murdered out in the street.
Right.
Who knows?
Apparently.
It's like, the times they are a-changing.
We need a Batman. That's all there is to it. Clean up the streets of Gotham.
Yeah.
But, things have changed over the years, but it's still basically the same. A bunch of kids get dressed up, and I don't know about anyone else, but when I was a kid, when I put on a costume, I wasn't like, oh, look, I'm dressed up as so-and-so. No, I was. Like, I became. I remember this one year, I had this really sweet prosthetic mask and stuff, and I was like maybe 9 years old, and I became like the Wolfman, and it was awesome. I wasn't like wandering around dressed up as the Wolfman. I was the Wolfman.
I was serious.
Like, inside and out, I was the Wolfman. So I always enjoyed that a lot, but...
One thing I remember as far as costumes went is because Mom she would make stuff most of the time. She would make a costume. And so whatever you were one year, it was like no doubt a few years later I was that costume.
Right.
Like she made that alien with the strings and the extra arms and stuff like that. I remember being that one after you were that one.
That was an awesome costume. Yeah, all the arms were strung together, so when you raised up your arms, it looked like you had like 3 arms on each side.
Exactly.
The Wolfman, I think, got reused because she had sewn like this old, button-up, was it plaid shirt, and it had like hair sticking out of it, and like hair sticking out of the knees on the jeans and stuff. And I think you reused that and were Bigfoot one year, so because I had the prosthetic mask that made me look like a werewolf, but you didn't have that. Obviously, it was a one-time use. But
anyways.
Those were good. But there's only a couple. Like most years, like I don't really remember.
Yeah, I remember I was Popeye one year. That was a terrible idea. I thought, man, Popeye is such a badass, At the time, you watch all the Popeye costumes and he's whooping up on Bluto and...
I mean, he can beat anyone.
Popeye's so cool, and then the Robin Williams movie was out, and we were watching
all the songs. Everything is food.
Food. Yeah.
Still a great show.
Yeah, awesome. But then every old lady in the whole neighborhood thinks she's Eddie Flippin' Murphy. She's the funniest person in the whole town. And she's like, I know, I'll give this little kid a can of spinach. Oh,
everyone had a can of spinach.
Well, guess what?
Who has a can of spinach in their cupboard?
Right?
Everyone apparently.
And when you're Popeye for Halloween, you get spinach instead of candy.
And they're
just hilarious.
Sack full of spinach weighs like 40 pounds.
I had to keep unloading spinach into the car because my bag was too damn heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
that was a good costume though, because Mom made these little pillow things for your
arms and everything,
and it had the tattoo on it and everything.
Yeah, I had a wooden pipe and
that's right,
eye.
Squinky eye.
But spinach that year. Poor
that's
move.
Right, I forgot about
Poor
that.
Move.
Oof, that was rough.
My most lucrative Halloween was in high school, though, when we went around and played guitar, door to door rocking in the guitar. And
I had to work that night, and I remember you telling me about it because you filled up a couple of
pillowcases. We filled up pillowcases,
like a couple of them.
Yeah, it was me and Alex were playing guitar, and Polly was singing with us, and
it's awesome.
Man, we did so good. People were we went so long that we were catching a lot of the people at the end of the night, and they're like, I haven't really seen me, but you guys are doing so good. And they just dump up the rest of the bowl of candy. It's that's the most original
the way
thing.
To do it.
It's we're just wearing blue jeans and white button up shirts.
You guys just were yourselves basically.
Singing songs, and man, that people just ate that up, and I've never come up with so much candy. We had 50 some pounds, I think we ended up with.
That's insane.
It was amazing. That was so cool. But anyways,
I still love I still love like dressing up and stuff, like
Yeah.
costumes. Like I have the Templar Knights costume, which is
Mm.
pretty sweet. Like I got the full chainmail. I made chainmail legit. Made chainmail, and then I've got the whole Knights Templar thing, and got the chainmail cowl and everything,
Mm.
walking around. So that was a cool costume, I think.
Yeah.
It was one of my personal favorites. And then when I was down in Texas one year, I did like all the guys at the airport dressed up. So we're all like we fueled planes at an airport down there. So we got all these private jets coming in, and we're fueling planes, and all of us are dressed up.
Costume.
A bunch
All
of
right.
dudes was like 35, 40 years old. One of them was dressed up as a Jedi. We had this zombie, like he had the like brains coming out of his head and stuff. I dressed up as a Black Ops dude,
What happened?
so that was pretty cool.
Oh, it's unplugged from your. Come here. It's unplugged from your head. Come here.
Check my notes here. I wrote down a few things, but those are the big ones for me.
We're supposed to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, we're going to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas, and then we kind of went off.
Just rolled into that. It's okay.
All right, here you go, short round.
Okay, Nightmare Before Christmas. We got this.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, back
on
Nightmare
track.
There's a small amount of people that probably haven't seen in this day and age, but
right. When it first came out, it wasn't that popular though.
Right.
Like it really wasn't. And then
we didn't know anybody that watched it. I don't think growing up, unless we showed it to them.
Right. Yeah, and they came over and watched it with us, and they're like, "Wow, this is awesome!" And it was, it was a little weird. It's claymation and stuff.
Yeah.
And
it just gets better with time.
We watched it. It wasn't a Disney film, I don't think. Like Disney hadn't picked it up yet, but
well,
that's the version I remember. VHS, and we watched it and watched it and watched it. I mean, we wore the tape out.
So essentially, if you haven't seen it, it's about basically the king. There's all the different holidays have their own town separate from each other, and they are basically unaware that the other exists. And
right, they call them towns, but it's basically like
a whole world.
Different universes.
Yeah. And basically the king or the ruler of Halloween Town, he's just bummed out and depressed and feels unfulfilled with his life. He does Halloween.
Because it's all Halloween.
That's all he does, and he's bored with it, and he feels empty. And he just happens to stumble across basically the gateways to all these different worlds. And as soon as he sees the gateway into the Christmas world, he's like suddenly filled with wonder and awesomeness. And he opens the door and he's pulled in.
Christmas cookie it's a Christmas of a Christmas tree with the star on top. And opens it up and falls in.
Opens it, flies in, and he ends up in this, magical winter wonderland that is Christmas Town.
Amazing Christmasness, yes.
Yeah. Everything about it is just epic Christmasness. And he just cruises around and he has this great big discovery about, this is what he's been looking for inside his whole life, the missing piece of his spirit, pretty much. And he gets so pumped about it, and he's so excited he brings a bunch of stuff back to Halloween universe, and is trying to get everyone else excited about it, but they don't understand anything but Halloween. And so it kind of ends up being to where, I don't know, in order to get them excited about it, he kind of has to deform it a little bit to make it into something that they're interested in, and he gets
a few excited. Of the details were fudged a bit.
Yeah, and so essentially the only way that he can feel like he's getting enough of Christmas is to take care of Christmas himself, and so he decides that he's going to take over Christmas, and the story goes from there. How it doesn't work out, but it's awesome.
It is. It's absolutely
everything
incredible.
About it was cool. I mean, it's just so original and amazing. And
for us, that was something really weird because, given the opportunity, our mom would never have let us get that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no chance at all.
Because it had skeletons and witches and all that kind of stuff.
But our grandma, Oma, she's from Germany. She wanted to be Oma, so Oma is grandma for German. Our Oma worked at Walmart, and she just brought it home one day. And she's like, here, I thought this would be cool, and we were like, okay, cool, sweet movie, We get movies once or twice a year, so we were pretty stoked about that. And we started watching it. It became tradition for us just to go from there, so.
Yeah. And if it hadn't have been for the Christmas aspect of it, it would have been gone a lot sooner.
It would have been tanked, yeah.
Eventually, because of the fluctuating, things in our household as far as what was tolerable, eventually it was gone one year.
I think that, like, over time, there was kind of a struggle going on, and Mom was, like, super duper strict, and Dad wasn't quite as strict.
Mm.
And he was always fighting with her, like, okay, yeah, but maybe this isn't that bad. The kids can watch it.
Right. I mean, it's a musical.
I think a lot of that happened on. But yeah, it is full-on musical claymation, like I said. And it took them like 3 years to do it, I think I was reading somewhere. So, like, it was a huge project. But
they've got really good special features on them. If you get the new ones, they do, like, the making of. Actually,
really?
The first time I ever seen any of the making stuff is when I got my PSP. Brand new, and one of the first UMDs that I got, if not the very first one, was The Nightmare Before Christmas, and had special features on the UMD disc for the PSP.
Nice.
And I mean, it has how they made it it's worth it. Now I have like a bigger box DVD version, but yeah, all the special features are just really, really cool for that, how they made it, and the color schemes that they did for each different world. There's like there's the human universe that's separate from all the holiday universes, and the color scheme is just basically bland grayscale. Everything's super lame, and it's only the holidays that bring anything exciting or amazing into this grayscale universe.
Well, the Halloween Town was like that. It was all like really
blacks
bland,
and oranges
boring.
And whites. But then Christmas Town is like Christmas Town cram-packed with color.
Polar opposite.
Yeah. And you don't see anything else of the other universes because, I mean, Easter Town. I mean,
there was,
I remember there was
a shamrock or something on one of the trees.
Yeah. Which, that might be kind of funny, but...
there's a turkey on one of them, too, for Thanksgiving. But yeah, those are the big ones. I just remember, like, the visuals in it, because it's Tim Burton, he's got that weird, twisted, like all the gates and the buildings and everything are skewed off one way and another. Just that very heavy Tim Burton feel to it. And then, like, one of my favorite scenes is when Jack's all bummed out because, Halloween's over. Yay, it was the same as last year. And he walks out on that spiral thing over the graveyard, and it kind of, like, unfurls into this bridge as he's walking. He's singing this song, and then he kind of, like, wanders off into the forest to think about his life and stuff. And that was one of the coolest scenes. The way it happens, just epic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's iconic. If the first thing that you think of with The Nightmare Before Christmas, it's got to be that hilltop that uncurls across the graveyard
with the full moon in the background.
And they, he has the emptiness on top of that the hilltop. It's kind of like the pinnacle of the song as he's traveling out of the town into the forest and
leaving everything he knows behind him.
Yeah, at a loss. But then at the end, they're back on the same hilltop with the same moon. But he's got his accomplishment. He's achieved
his personal bliss.
Full
and everything's
circle.
come back together.
He's got his patchwork girlfriend, and he's got, he's done Christmas, but he realizes that...
Spoiler alert, by the way.
He realizes that Halloween's like where it's at, and that's that's his deal, and he can do it better than anyone else, and feels a new fire in his own holiday. So really cool. And the score, the music was all done by Danny Elfman, and the sounds and the music and everything was
actually
really,
he's
really
the one
awesome.
He's the one who voiced all of Jack's
singing
musical parts.
Yeah.
He was the voice of that, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, like, I fell in love with that movie when he's in Christmas Town. And when he sings What's This, it's like the whole of Christmas time and Christmas spirit and all things wonderful and joyous and warm. He's managed to capture it in this song, and in the way that they shot it with all the... I have no idea I could never imagine shooting a movie like that, especially with claymation, and you're just doing this and slowly, meticulously moving things little bit by little bit. But the way they shot it and everything, you just get this feeling to it that's just so powerful, and that's what I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
That was it for me. I was like, wow, this is it. This is the best movie in the world.
Yeah, because it was Christmas, and that was, for me it was, Bubba, we don't want to listen to Peppa Pig. Can you put in your headphones? Peppa Pig. Can you put in your headphones, Short Round? Please? It's not going to happen. Sorry, guys. There might be a little bit of Peppa's going on in the background.
It's okay. They've been listening to my squeaky chair. Now they can listen to some sound.
The
little music in the background.
The thing with my son is, of course, we're English speakers, and he's developing his language now. He's really good at talking, but he's been going to Japanese school
right.
and learning Japanese, and he's got the mix of that and English, and then he watches Peppa Pig, which is British children's show. And so you get like this mix in a single sentence. You could get English and a Japanese word or two, and then he'll end it with like, that would be lovely, or petrol, or something like that. Just drop in some like extremely British,
strange vocabulary thrown in.
So he's gonna be all messed up. So
it's okay. It'll all add to his character.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting time of life to smash in the multiculturalism.
Right.
So he'll probably be a little goofed up from that, but
maybe.
Anyways, Nightmare Before Christmas was.
If you haven't seen it, you pretty much don't need to watch it now. We've covered all the bases.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different unique characters, that are like iconic bad guy characters. But when they're in their own town,
you can watch it so many times,
over and over. I watch it at least 2 times a year because I watch it around Halloween, and then I watch it a few months later for Christmas.
And it's so busy. Like, there's so much going on in the background, all the little details and everything. And like you were saying, like, all the different bad guys are in this town, but they're just normal.
Yeah, they're just normal when they're in their own town. They're just like...
it's their job to scare people.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me almost like Monsters, Inc. kind of did that, where there's like the iconic monsters, and it's their job to scare people. But when they're not scaring, they're just normal guys,
Mm-hmm.
So, I caught on to you, Monsters, Inc. Nice guy. But, yeah.
Sure.
Trying to think. There's, I don't want to blow it. I mean, I'm sure that there's got to be somebody who hasn't seen it. I don't think we spoiled everything.
If you haven't seen it and you enjoyed what you just heard, it's even better when you watch the movie. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch it. The songs. I mean, we probably could go and sing through all the songs too. Just completely destroy the movie, but
right.
The Christmas scene. I mean, it's so good. So good.
It really is. So check it out. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
It's probably about it for this episode. I'm still working on Contra. Gonna make a perfect playthrough. I'm so close, man.
I still haven't been able to play any platformers. I picked up a different controller, and it's worse than the first one I got, so I'm just going to have to buy a new one online.
They're cheap, man. You can get like a really cool USB controller for just like $10.
I know, but I didn't want to wait for shipping.
So you've been screwing around for a month?
Yeah. I know.
Nice.
So. All right, guys. All right. Well, tell us what you think. Give us your Halloween memories in the comments. Something awesome. Good movies. I mean,
we didn't even touch Halloween movies.
Right, we didn't touch any horror movies or anything like that, which is another one of those things we never really got to watch growing up, Most of the horror movies I've watched that are like iconic horror movies, I've watched as an adult, so I can't really reminisce on those. We've had, when we were living in Alaska together, we had a pretty sweet Halloween where we sat down. This was only a few years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we just sat down and we rented a whole bunch of horror movies and watched them. That was a good.
Yeah, because we watched like every zombie movie we could get a hold of, and a ton of horror movies. We watched Troll and Leprechaun.
Leprechaun's a good one. Troll
is
interesting.
hard.
That's
It's a rough one to
That's a
get
tough
through.
one to really like. That one's pretty bad.
It's like a poorly written labyrinth. I don't know. It was rough.
Yeah, it had puppets, but it was like a puppet musical horror.
Yeah.
I'll give them this. I mean, I haven't seen any puppet musical horrors aside from that one. Really,
No, it's definitely
it's got the
unique.
market on that. So I
Definitely
mean, I'm sure that
unique.
there's like a troll fan base.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've only
And
seen the first
obviously,
one.
it was memorable enough that we're talking about it
Yeah,
now.
true that.
They did something right,
I've seen worse movies than Troll, but that one's just. Let's just say it doesn't go down as smooth as the Leprechaun or Critters.
Critters is good, yeah.
We're gonna have.
We watched a lot of them. We also did some survival horror games that we had never played before, like we played Silent Hill 2, and I had never played it before, so that was cool.
Silent Hill, that's good stuff.
Those are good games.
That movie is really pretty creepy too.
Both of them, they were pretty good.
Oh yeah, I guess I have seen both of. The second one has like the blonde-haired teenage girl. Looks kind of like the blonde-haired teenage girl from the second game. It's probably supposed to be the same character. I forget. I haven't watched it since then. We probably watched it then, and then I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
we watched 30 Days of Night or something like that. It's kind of like a Arctic vampire zombie movie kind of thing.
Vampire, not zombies. Yeah.
It's
30
like
Days of Night.
It's terrible because in the Arctic, it's dark for so many days, and so that's why it's even worse. It's a good spot for vampires. So one good one was I didn't watch the movie until after I played the game on PlayStation 2, but The Thing is also kind of an Arctic-based horror.
The Thing, man, John Carpenter.
Yeah, the game was pretty awesome. I liked it. You have to kill the monsters with fire. Aliens.
In the Arctic.
Yeah. I think
it's better than Signs. Kill the monsters with water.
Yeah. Not as visually interesting.
Great movie.
Yeah, we watched that one a lot growing up too. We're gonna have to do a whole episode probably on alien movies and stuff growing up because that was always big in our house.
Break them down. Yeah, that was really big.
And monster movies. I want to do one on monster movies. Because we grew up watching like Earth vs. the Giant Spider
all
Invasion,
the old
Black Scorpion,
40s or 50s and 60s movies.
It Came from Green Hell.
Mm-hmm. Day of the Triffids.
What are some other really awesome ones?
Man,
Tremors.
There's
Tremors
so
movies.
many.
There's so many monster
classic.
movies. Deep Blue Sea. All that stuff. I love those monster movies. Like that's what we grew up watching was monster movies instead of like
action
regular horror movies. Yeah. So, anyways, thanks
lots
for watching,
of stuff.
guys. We're just getting to ramble a little bit.
Yeah.
Check out Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not too late because 'tis the season, my friends. 'Tis the season. Watch it. Enjoy it. Tell us your Halloween memories or any other awesome Halloween movies that we might have missed.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. Anything and everything, whatever, Any questions you guys have, we'll do a questions and answers episode here in the future when we get a pile of stuff together, and we'll keep going from there.
Yeah, stick with us. We're going to keep getting the content out. Check out Styx has got his first comic book episode out. It's really
a couple
awesome.
more coming.
I threw out one of my semi-informative Japan episodes. So if you're interested in Japan, check it out. I'm working on the next episode now. I'm going to be talking about food in Japan. So
one of my favorite topics.
Everything is food. Yeah. So anyways.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
So thanks for liking, subscribing, checking us out. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of fun stuff. Like us, hate us, we don't care. It's all feedback. Anything you guys got to say, any suggestions, we love it all. So
yeah.
So keep at it and just remember, got to ask the question: what makes this so good?
Yeah. What makes it good? Why is this awesome?
So we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.